This is a project in which we want to recover the this area. I mean, years and years ago, when the people came to Galapagos Islands, they brought many introduced species, basically plants and also animals. What we do here is we're gonna replace those introduced plants which we brought before. I mean, our the people who brought to here, and we're gonna replace with endemic plants. We have endemic plants which are um, which are like benefits for the species. For example, finches and mockingbirds, they're gonna nest by those trees. That's why we're gonna replant that. We have escalesias, and we have poison apple or manzanillo, etc., etc. We have different varieties of escalesias basically, and some bushes, tournefortes, which are endemic plants of Galapagos, and we want to recover that. This is basically the idea, the concept of this ranch, this private property, in order to provide to the tortoises the best environment. As you see, over here we have many tortoises, and we want to have this location with tortoises and endemic plants. This is the idea. We don't want to dedicate anymore to the animal husbandry, for example, or livestock, which is one of the activities which we have in the Galapagos Islands. We had this property years ago working in that way. Right now we want to do very different thing in order to coexist basically with the Galapagos species, in this case giant tortoises. This is the most important thing which we want to have in these 12 hectares. All of these 12 hectares are dedicated to in 20 years you will find a nice escalesia forest and some endemic bushes, and basically a sanctuary of the land birds and also land tortoises, as centuries ago. When the people came to Galapagos Islands for first time, they found actually Galapagos in that conditions. Now, due to the introduced animals and introduced plants, we have this special and critical situation, because the introduced plants and introduced animals affect to the local species, basically endemic species, tortoises, for example, or land iguanas or marine iguanas, even those we don't have here. I mean, land iguanas or marine iguanas, but tortoises are found here, but we have to protect the... Well, this is one of the tortoises which we have over here in this area. We have many of these animals, about 200 giant tortoises. In this moment, this guy is having a nice relaxed time, and nobody is here. Nobody interrupt to him this nice siesta. There is no more animals, I mean introduced animals, which can disturb to them. This is basically the concept. This is basically the idea in this private property. This is a natural, a private reserve, and we have more tortoises around this area, but the vegetation in this spot is introduced basically plants such as guavas. Guava is one of the invasive species which we have in the Galapagos Islands, and we're gonna replace gradually these plants, because they are in this case those trees are the shade providers to the tortoises. Tortoises love it. That's why we are not going to cut down all of them at the same time. We're gonna do this gradually, cutting down one by one as much as is possible, and then we're gonna plant one of those endemic plants, especially escalesias, which is basically the plant proper of this spot.